Show me the idol. Show me the Redeemer.
Here you go, mate.
Hey, G.
Yo, hand it over. I got a hot date who don't do late.
Al, you look a bit tired.
Yeah, it's been a long second day.
It's been also a bit of a crazy day because, well, we know Ubisoft. Can you ever, picture in any lifetime or parallel reality a Ubisoft press conference starting with Shigeru Miyamoto taking the main stage?
Oh man, I tell you, that was the weirdest and most amazing thing. It was also like the best way to open up what was actually a really, really strong conference from Ubisoft, I think. Probably the best Ubisoft conference I've seen in the past 5 years, easily. And one that everyone kind of considers the best one of E3 so far. Would you have ever guessed that?
No, although I'm still kind of on the fence with the Devolver Digital. Yeah, absolutely brilliant use of like bleeding noses and mouths. But yeah, like from the big four that we saw, Ubisoft just blew me away with what they had on offer. I mean, it was what a press conference should be. New IPs, games are coming out soon, games are coming out in the near future, and they all look fantastic.
And loads of emotion, lots of crying developers, which is, I mean, that's sometimes lost within the whole hype train that is E3. It's just that there are very real people here making these games for millions of people to hopefully consume, and they're really passionate about these things, and Ubisoft somehow showed that on a commercial scale, which was phenomenal. So, I mean, the thing kicked off with Mario x Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I mean, the weirdest mashup I could have ever thought of, but a really, really interesting looking game.
I never thought this would ever be possible. It's freaking rabbits, man. Rabbits in Mario dress.
Dude, rabbits, I don't know, people love rabbits.
How is this? And it looks so compelling. I know that I don't like rabbits. I just want to play this game.
Yeah, so it's got that whole XCOM combat vibe going to it. So, turn-based combat, and you're playing as Mario and a rabbit dressed up as Luigi and one dressed up as Peach, and they have guns, and but it somehow still looks like it could have been Nintendo developed. It's got that charm, the whole color scheme going for it, and it looks like something I really want to play on Switch like right now.
Wow. Rabbits.
God. But yeah, I mean, you would have never thought that a mashup like that would work, and I'm kind of glad that Nintendo's also taking a risk on developers outside of their kind of stable of studios that they have there in Japan. So, I mean, it's coming to Switch later this year, and I'm pretty stoked for it, I won't lie.
We've already covered it in video, but of course, Assassin's Creed Origins, that's back. I mean, that was one of the big keystone announcements of Ubisoft this year.
Yeah, I mean, we got hands-on with it today as well, and we're going to have a whole separate preview for that, but most of the gameplay they showed at the conference was what we got to play as well, and it's just really, really good. I really enjoy my time with it. I like the differences in how it's a bit more RPG focused, and it's got a really cool loot system to it, and the changes to combat are more interesting than what combat has been in the past few iterations. So I'm really stoked for Origins. I think the setting really lends itself to a kind of rebirth for the series, and just makes the entire thing a lot more interesting than it has been in the past 3 or 4 years.
One thing I wasn't, too impressed. I wouldn't say I was like not impressed, but I was just like wowed by it. It was like a sequel to The Crew. I mean, it was like an alright racing game that came out, but it's just like, I don't know. I've got no passion for The Crew, and now we've got Two Crew, Two Furious.
It was a game that got better with time though, much like Destiny and I'm assuming the Division world, but updates to The Crew actually made it a pretty great, compelling racer, and I think they've just kind of understood what they did with the first game and can now apply that to a proper true sequel that will maybe expand on the online interfaces, the online modes that you'll be able to interact with, and just the open world, because the original Crew had a really good open world that you could just explore and drive through. So, I mean, I never gave the first Crew enough of a shot to really know fundamentally what they showed in terms of what is different, but I am excited to see them take another crack at it.
It looks like you're going to be racing across land, sea, and air.
Yeah, I mean, cool. That works.
You're going to be Ubisoft's Valentino Rossi of racing.
Yeah.
If you know what that
I
means.
mean, the Crew started off as like a car RPG and transformed into a more open world Forza Horizon type Ubisoft offering. So who knows what they'll do with a sequel like that.
Other big title shown, Far Cry 5.
Yeah, got some good gameplay for that. What did you think, like, of the sort of wackiness around it? I mean, it was so serious first with this trailer, and now it looks kind of over the top and weird.
Yeah, I don't know what the direction Ubisoft is going with in this. Do they want it to be serious? Do they want it to be crazy? Do they want it to be a combination of the both? It's a fine line to cross between just straight up parody and actual sincere commentary on the state of small town America.
Yeah, I'm also a bit confused because the especially the initial trailers gave it a bit more of a morbid vibe. The whole idea of this religious cult taking over a city is pretty like serious in a very real way and very politically charged. So to watch gameplay that has like a dog bringing you weapons and a sniper that just swears off his head, and it being the sort of Far Cry wackiness that we've come to expect, but in a setting which wants to take itself more seriously. It's a bit at odds with each other. It seems strange, but the gameplay still looks good. So I don't know. I want to see more.
I'm still interested, which I think is one of the main triumphs of the Ubisoft press conference. Of course, there was something even bigger, something we've been waiting years for, like close to a decade now. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Listen, Michel Ancel a few weeks ago said that E3 wasn't the right place for them to show it, and he seemed to have straight up lied to everyone.
Liar!
Just got them off his back, but we got that amazing CGI trailer. We learned from him afterwards. He came out, he was pretty emotional, but he basically described the game as a prequel to the first Beyond Good and Evil, so you're not going to be playing as Jade. It looks like you might be playing as someone who might be her mother, or the crew that kind of leads to the events of the first Beyond Good and Evil. But there's not much to go on just from the CGI trailer, because we have no idea what the game looks like in motion. The game hasn't been in development officially for that long. But I'm just so glad that it was finally on stage at the Ubisoft conference, and that trailer alone was pretty darn great.
I need more information on playing as a monkey, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if we play the whole game as him, I'm pretty down with that, because he was really fun.
Game of the year, easily.
But it was a really solid conference from Ubisoft. I think, the past years they've always been kind of taken a bit less seriously because of the way they present their games, and they drove home open world experiences for so long. So many of their games are massive open worlds with Watch Dogs and Tom Clancy's The Division, and it got all a bit like
Tom
mixed
Clancy's
into this.
coffee mug,
This was the first it was the first Ubisoft conference in I don't even know how long where we didn't have a single Tom Clancy game at all.
Yeah, I mean,
strange.
I don't understand the power behind that brand.
Yeah, so I think it was a good conference, very good, and I can understand why people consider it.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah. And I hope they keep that momentum going for the rest of the week.
Critical Hit E3 2017 coverage, supported by Megarom Interactive and Stir Clinical Entertainment.